the center of the court, so it will be interesting to see if BYU continues to keep trying to put it there, as that will be their weak side. Skip there by Landecker. Looks like she just wasn't quite set up well for that shot, and it'll skip to the front wall. BYU serving, one serving three, first serve. Priest will swing there. Hit a BYU player in the back. That'll be a replay. We'll redo 1-3. The ball falls short of the front wall. Be on to the second server for BYU.
You can't stay away. I think so. Not like good face sets.
Great rally going on here. Kind of going back and forth with each other. Keeping the ball kind of high. No one's really killing it. Just kind of rallying around. Reset up here. Good for a nice down the line shot there. And BYU will fall short of that front wall. It'll be switched over to Priest and Landecker. Landecker up to serve, 3 serving 1.
Well, yeah, that's what I said.
Once again, we'll see that middle court advantage being used there, as that is Priest and Landecker's, both of their backhands there.
Just a reminder, if you are here before your match, please check in for your match 30 minutes prior. It is greatly appreciated.
Who's helping with the US, the fishing issue?
Some great play here by both teams. LU will come out on the top there. BYU got up there in the front, and Priest was able to pass it right by her. So we got 4 serving 1 now. Flop serve.
I was talking with her. She said, I don't know. She gave that vibe. And now that I think about it, I was like, whenever I've heard that, women commentating, they sound pretty similar. So it could just be another
Great shot and great return there.
very Instagram. It was funny. I was going with her, and she said, I was like, are you like,
Priest set up good here for a nice down the line shot. BYU unable to return it there. Great down the line shot, a little bit high, but in the end it works out for LU.
She's like, yeah, I'm open. And I was like, oh, cool. And she was like, I'm open in California. And I was like, shoot. So, yeah.
Nice little
I was like, yeah,
pinch there into the corner by Landecker. That'll give them 6.
No, I didn't. That's interesting. It's like the serving one. Like that. Their courts, type of courts. That's a dude.
Nice shot there by BYU. Kept the ball low. LU unable to return it there. BYU up to serve.
Or they just do it.
They could just be doing it in the middle.
Oh, I guess.
Both teams kind of keeping it middle ceiling balls here. Once again, that advantage of having Priest and Landecker having both of their backhands there for the middle will fall to BYU's advantage.
really like
Priest Under will return that there. Great shot by BYU player.
they were serving around the middle.
We now have 3 serving 6.
The lefty things.
There's a lot of help, so it's very helpful.
Hinder maybe?
Looks like the players got caught up a little bit there. No hinder or anything called. So that'll be a point for BYU. We got 4 serving 6.
Body contact, body contact.
BYU on a little bit of a run here after starting off a little bit shy. They weren't getting many points early on in the game. Now they are closing that gap. They got 5-6. Decent little crowd watching here as well. Rear glass and also off to the right side. Both players probably feeling the pressure a little bit here.
Yeah. Let's go, Liberty. 5 serving 6.
We'll have 5 serving 6. BYU player will hit herself there, and that'll be a side out for BYU. We got Landecker up to serve. We have 6 serving 5 now. Lob serve, tries to cut it off. Unable to get the cutoff, then reattempts to send it to the front wall, and that'll just fall slightly shy of that front wall. Great second attempt there, though. You know, you see BYU kind of. Here, we'll go to a timeout break here, and we'll see you back in a few minutes.
Racquetball is a sport that can be played by people of all ages and skill levels. Approximately 20 million people representing 95 countries play the sport today. Racquetball is fun. It is an incredible workout, a dynamic activity, and it can be played indoor or outdoor. Racquetball events are social gatherings that bring people together and where lifelong friendships are made. Are you interested in joining the racquetball community? Check out usaracquetball.com for more information.
Racquetball is competition and a lot of fun. I love to be able to go on the court and hit by myself, and I love the thinking behind it and the strategy.
And welcome back after a quick little timeout break here. We have 7 serving 5 LU up to serve.
So if you were watching yesterday, you'll have seen 2 different Ms. Priests, both of them left-handed on that right wall playing doubles here. Don't think we saw either of the 2 BYU players yesterday, but they both did win their first matches.
It's a smart idea for her to jump in front at the last second.
Yeah, and you can really use that left hand to an advantage sometimes when they're lobbing those serves.
And you also have an advantage if you're set up the way they have, is they're never going to have to deal with that side glass. So
What? No.
Yeah,
if one of your players can take advantage of that, that's ideal.
exactly.
No, and there's. You guys watch.
A little bit of miscommunication there between Priest and Landecker.
Probably the thing I think needs to be improved most across all of the double matches I've seen is communication.
Yeah.
The Oregon State team, that was in the match right before this did a really good job of calling yours and mine. One player in particular did that on pretty much every shot. Just having that captain that's going to say, hey, I'm not going for this,
Right.
is really helpful.
I think it's even more important, as they'll keep playing here, for LU to be calling here, because both of their backhands is in the middle, so they really need to call both of those shots. Playing with both of these players, I know that's both of their weak sides is their backhand, so it's really important to call that backhand shot every time.
Absolutely.
As per usual.
And since their backhands are in the middle, that with a few extra steps, they can make it their forehand. There's not a wall in the way. But they've got to know, I'm going to be the one taking this. I need to take those extra steps now, just like with that right there.
Exactly.
Megan Sidarsky, Allie Noble to the tournament desk.
Set up off the back. You got to hit it when that happens.
Yeah.
Loose side of the ball goes right between your legs. Brings us to 10-5. That's the shot you needed.
A great down the lot shot there by BYU. Soft touch. Just kind of shows it's not always about all the power in the world.
Placement and positioning are much better. If you can get your opponents behind you and place it correctly on the front wall, you'll win more rallies than if you try to pass them every time with speed. But a nice hard shot that bounces twice before the short line is acceptable as well.
Here we go. Let's go, Paige.
She'll miss on the first swing, get it on the second swing there. Never give up on the ball. In that case, it worked out in their favor.
Absolutely.
Next up. All the other games are starting now. 10:37.
Rishi to the tournament desk. Rishi to the tournament desk.
So, middle of the match, BYU was waiting for a very specific point before they took their timeout, checking the score when it was 6 and when it was 7, taking the timeout at 7 instead of 6. I don't know that I agree with that as a general rule. It's not a bad strategy to make sure you get it in. Depends a lot on how the match is going. If you're right in it and it's 6-6, 6-7, maybe keep going. But if you have lost 3 points in a row, then definitely to go ahead and take it then.
Yeah, I would agree. And I always hate when that happens. You don't see the ball come in and it hits you and you lose the rally because of it.
One rally twice. One rally finish.
11.
11.
Jack. Should be 12, Jack.
It was their serve though.
12. All right, little technology challenge when the referee advanced the server indicator. And then had to go back.
Yeah, and back to the technology part. You know, it's a little bit of a change up, just clicking buttons compared to the normal scorecard we're used to marking.
Mm-hmm. This is the same technology that's used by the Ladies Professional Racquetball Tour and the International Racquetball Tour. Something we developed to get the scoreboard basically in the hands of the referee so that there's only one scorekeeper. There's no chance of the score on screen being behind or ahead. And it's really good to help people just understand the flow of the game.
Right.
If I could put tablets in the hands of every tournament on every court, I would. I think it makes a much easier way to keep track of who is serving, especially if a timeout happens or a really long rally occurs. I know there's definitely times that I've forgotten who was it that served this rally that started 35 shots ago.
It's easy when you're holding the board and you got the name up, but sometimes you set the board down in between the break and then you forget.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Excellent choice.
Excellent shot there by Landecker. She'll pass it right by her opponent there.
Not really.
Average?
They're just kind of keeping the ball for something very nice.
Unfortunately, that'll come right back at the BYU players. And Landecker and Priest will be back up to serve again.
And as you can see, there are a couple of other events happening at the university today. We see a bunch of people passing by that wall. Haven't noticed the players be too distracted by that.
Right.
For the most part, they've stayed focused on the ball.
Yeah, here at day 2 now, all the players have had a little bit of time to get used to the court a little bit and get a little bit more comfortable here. As we'll end game 1, 15-9. We'll see you back for game 2.
You'll need some basic equipment to play racquetball, like a racket and a ball. Notice the tether on your racket. That's important. Oh, and a glove helps for extra grip. The ball goes really fast, so you want some protection. Goggles. And you want to go fast too. So, bring some good shoes that won't scuff up the court. Okay, so here's the court. It's 40 feet long and 20 feet wide. These 2 lines are where you serve. To serve, you bounce the ball and hit it with your racket. The ball needs to hit the front wall and should land between this line and the back wall. The ball hitting the back wall is long, and if it bounces before the middle line, it is short. Don't worry, you get 2 tries to serve if you fault your first serve. Your feet can't touch the outside of the middle line at the beginning of your serve. As you step into your serve, your foot can go past the line, but still needs to be touching the line at least. When you return the ball, you have 1 bounce before you need to hit it and get it to hit the front wall again. This dotted line shows where you cannot enter when returning the serve. After the ball bounces, your racket can pass, but not your body. Let's get into it. Okay? So, player 1 is serving. Oops, they served it short, so they get another try on the serve. This one is good. Player 2 returns the ball with a ceiling shot. They wait for it to come off the back wall and go for a down the line. Now player 2 hits a pinch and ends the rally. Because player 2 won the rally, player 1 doesn't get any points. The score is still 0-0. They serve a lob serve. Player 1 moves their feet and swings to hit a wide-angle pass, but player 2 is able to swing and hits the ball. Player 1 sets up, swings, and skips the ball. The ball hits the ground before the front wall. Because player 2 served that rally and won the rally, they get a point. Now the score is 1-0. Player 2 serves again. Whoever gets to 15 points first wins the game. Each player takes turns hitting the ball to the front wall. You can hit it before it bounces or wait for the bounce and hit it. If the ball bounces twice or hits the ground first after hitting it, the rally ends. You only get points if you win the rally, and you were the one who served. Whoever gets to 15 points first wins the game. In a match, you play 2 games. If each player wins a game, then you play a tiebreaker game to 11 points. So that's it. How to play racquetball. Now get out there and play.
Welcome back to Minneapolis. We're here on the University of Minnesota campus in the Recreation and Wellness Center. We have 7 courts going with intercollegiate championship matches. Currently, we've got women's doubles number 2. So the number 2 means this is the second best team from each university, as determined by the university.
Correct.
Both of these teams won their first matches yesterday. It is a round robin. There are 6 teams, so each team will get 5 matches guaranteed.
So cutie. What am I? Well, I thought they were done after the last one. Someone told me that was the time.
Imagine always be calling the weird hingers.
You know, that bunch of people over there as well could be a little bit of pressure, could have lost focus on the ball at that glass wall if you're used to a solid background over there.
Absolutely. Now that court that we saw in between games is actually one of the BYU courts, so they're definitely familiar with solid walls on both sides, and having players from your team suddenly show up in your side view in the middle of a shot could be a little distracting. So if I were Liberty, I would definitely try to keep the ball as close to the wall either side as possible.
Right.
That is definitely BYU has started off slow in taking them off the wall so far here in game 2.
Yeah, and as we've seen in game 1, this is really anybody's game. Both teams really competing well with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I've seen him play, I've always been
Crystal let that one get by her there. Just not set up well for the shot.
Mm-hmm. Needed to step up or step back. Either one would have worked, but an open stance was not what she needed to hit that one. There we go.
Yeah, great shot there by BYU.
Boaz, Davis, Friedenberg, Priest, tournament desk.
Friedenberg. Amber Friedenberg.
Need a referee from Texas A&M.
Friedenberg. 2 serving 2.
Quick pair of serves, ties us back up at 2.
Yeah, and we'll have the ace there. Once again, showing that weakness side of Priest and Leyendecker by serving it right down the middle to him.
Mm-hmm.
Nice pickup there by Leyendecker.
Good rally. So definitely one of the things that I like to see in the second game and a tiebreaker, if it goes to a tiebreaker, is I like the receiving teams to have learned the serves and the motions of the opposing team. Now, if you know that your opponent is going to serve a lob down the center, well, one of you needs to move up and one needs to drop back, and both of you cover it a little bit. You don't need to stay in your standard positions because you know that's not where the ball is going to go. So as soon as you can, the sooner you can learn that about your opponents and start to take advantage of it, the better you'll receive serve.
Yeah, we haven't really seen any drive serves out of either team today, so you can really be expecting a lob serve.
Mm-hmm.
233.
Great little pass there. BYU unable to get to it there.
Yep. Wide angle pass, the one of the best shots in doubles, period. You want hitting the sidewall at the same depth of the court as your opponent. The more often you can do that, the more often you'll get the point or the side out.
Your opinion is the only one that matters, Doug.
They'll roll a good shot there from BYU. LU will have their second server up now.
But that one was
433.
David, it's Boaz. You're going to be playing on court number 11.
A little bit of confusion the past couple of rallies here. Always makes for a fun, entertaining game.
Mm-hmm. We're going to see a drive type of serve to the left. And I'd have
Aaron Gray, Carter Galvin,
got more
Terminus,
towards expecting
Maxwell
that
Banning, Terminus.
sooner.
Right.
464.
And as soon as she starts that swing, Miss Priest's right foot should go forward and perhaps take a step back towards the center. And then move back towards the ball as you're ready to hit it. Just like that, but a little sooner.
Get a hinder call out of that one. That one there falls short of the front wall just slightly. Looks like she didn't really set up the swing for that one, just kind of bumped it a little bit. Great setup there by Madison. She was kind of ready for that shot there. Looked like they were kind of prepared for that serve like you had mentioned before.
Just short of the front wall.
Kevin serving 4.
It's the right shot to choose.
Dylan, South Bend.
BYU up here on a little bit of a lead. That looks like LU will take a timeout. We'll see you after the break.
My name's John Ellis from Stockton, California. Well, racquetball to me has been my lifetime sport. My dad was obsessed with this in 1975 when I was 3, so I had no choice but to play racquetball, and of course I've loved it ever since. You know, that includes not only playing, but the tournament directing part of it, and a lot of friends that I've met over the years. I'm in the Hall of Fame for racquetball, which means I won enough pro stops to qualify, so yeah, take that.
Racquetball feeds my soul.
I love racquetball. I'm addicted to it. I've been addicted to it for 25 years.
Fun, that's the most important thing, is fun. Just a great group of people to play with.
I love the people, I love the game, everything.
Okay, I think I got it.
Racquetball is life.
Racquetball is life.
Racquetball is life. And that's not a cliche answer, that's real stuff.
My name is Marcia Richards. You know, I love the workout, the intensity of a good rally, and, just the competitiveness. It takes a lot of grit. I love coming off the court just totally spent, that you've given everything that you have. Well, I've been playing it all my life since college, so all my adult life. It's been a great outlet. There'd be many days where I'd come from work and I'm thinking I don't even really want to be here, but then I'd get into the rally and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I am so glad I'm here because it's.
Going back from timeout, BYU continues with their first server.
You are here and have
Great
an
serve.
11-40
Loves ended up right along the sidewall.
Those are always really hard to get, especially when you pretty much leave no room for error in between the wall and wall. Great serve there.
And a better return from Priest this time, stepping forward to take it before it got in that situation.
9-4.
Looks like she'll try to tap it into the front wall, and it'll actually come out a little bit higher than I think what she was wanting there.
Mm-hmm.
BYU able to return it there. Now they're up to serve.
So yesterday, neither team had to participate in a tiebreaker. They won each of their matches in 2 games. So if we do get a tiebreaker, it'll be a change for both.
We like to really
11-4.
Priest with the right idea there, trying to take it off the back wall, getting set up, and just loses the ball just a little bit there.
Yep. She got another try. Takes it before the wall this time. Great wide angle pass.
Yeah, great pass there. BYU kind of keeping the ball up in the air and kind of around the world a little bit. Initially through that rally, worked out in their favor in the end. Looks like she was going for a ceiling ball there and just unable to place it towards that front wall.
Great shot there in that rally. Half out.
So wait for it this time, take it off the back wall. Unable to get it there to the front wall.
13-4.
I don't know how well you guys saw that on screen, but BYU ran around behind Liberty to get to the center. I don't want to encourage you to run in front of people while they're swinging, But if they're waiting for a long, high shot like that, move in front of them. Take the shortest route to get to where you're supposed to be. Take control of center court.
13-34.
Yeah, because when you get behind them, it kind of sets them up to be able to do what they want with the ball.
Absolutely. Our first game point here in game number 2. Landecki puts it down.
Yeah, we'll get 2 bounces out of that one. And
Serving 14.
Yeah, so even if Liberty doesn't come back with 10 points here, or 11 to take the game, it's really important to them to win some rallies. They need to get some momentum back in so that when the third game starts, they've got a little more positive energy.
Right.
Right now, Miss Priest is
Not necessarily. It's just my athletic training.
her posture and confidence is not where it was in the first game.
Right.
She needs to get some of that back. Right down the line. That's the first.
5 serving 14. Finding ways to make it so that
yeah, Priest looks like she's giving up a little bit on this game.
BYU with their second game point opportunity. Set up off the back wall, takes it a little high.
And that one will get by BYU there, and we'll see a half out here.
14 serving 5.
All right, that is the end of game number 2. Players have 2 minutes between games. We'll hope the referee enforces that this time. We'll see you after the commercials.
Racquetball is a sport that can be played by people of all ages and skill levels. Approximately 20 million people representing 95 countries play the sport today. Racquetball is fun. It is an incredible workout, a dynamic activity, and it can be played indoor or outdoor. Racquetball events are social gatherings that bring people together and where lifelong friendships are made. Are you interested in joining the racquetball community? Check out usaracquetball.com for more information.
My name's John Ellis from Stockton, California. Well, racquetball to me has been my lifetime sport. My dad was obsessed with this in 1975 when I was 3, so I had no choice but to play racquetball, and of course I've loved it ever since. You know, that includes not only playing, but the tournament directing part of it, and a lot of friends that I've met over the years. I'm in the Hall of Fame for racquetball, which means I won enough pro stops to qualify, so yeah, take that.
Racquetball is competition and a lot of fun. I love to be able to go on the court and hit by myself, and I love the thinking behind it and the strategy.
And welcome back to the University of Minnesota here. We are at the women's D2 collegiate doubles game. Both teams, fought hard to get here. It's round robin, so everyone will play everyone eventually, but both teams did win initially. In the first game, we kind of saw LU kind of take the lead there, and second game, BYU was ahead. Looked like they kind of figured out what LU was beating them with, and now LU will hope to do the same with BYU in this game.
Absolutely. Yeah, both BYU looked a lot more comfortable in the second game. You know, they got out of their own ways a little bit more. They did score more points in the two games, so they'll get to serve first here in the tiebreaker. But, you know, what I'd like to see, you know, Landecki is really confident the serve is not coming to her. So why not be 2 more steps forward? Why not be another step towards the center?
Right.
But you see now, the serve might come right down the center, and Priest still has a racket down below her waist. It works out.
Yeah, it works out in this case.
Commentators curse. You know, you say, do this to improve, and that's what they don't need to fix that shot. So.
That floated.
A little bit tingled up there.
0-0.
But as we saw on Priest's last shot, you know, she knows the right form. She knows how to get ready for the shot, how to get a rack up and good. If she would do that on the serve, she'd be more consistent. Or when receiving serve, rather.
Yeah, Leyendecker there with a little bit of a desperate swing to try to get that ball down. Ends up putting it into the floor there.
I got used to it. I got used to the silence. That first match, I'm like.
Priest with a nice serve there.
One serve here, and just staying there and just disrupting the attack. I played like
Set up off the back wall.
Almost hits herself there.
or just like I haven't been playing out. I'm so scared. The first and the second match I've ever watching those. They look white. And I was like, wow.
You know, you see a lot in this match. BYU kind of putting themselves in the center there, and Priest take advantage of that by putting it down that
far left side. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And BYU is trying to ensure that they are not hindering that straight ahead shot that they're required to give. But when the ball is bouncing towards the center, that means you need to move towards the edge. So we saw that right again there, both BYU players standing right next to each other on the right third of the court.
Yeah, if Liberty can start taking advantage of that, that could be a big game changer for them.
Mm-hmm. So that looked straight ahead to me. I'd have called that a penalty hindrance.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest reasons we don't see a lot of players call the penalty hinders here when they're roughing is because they're players as well, and they're afraid that, you know, the game they're roughing, the other players may end up roughing their game. I've often thought about that. Even though it is the right call, I sometimes feel like that might be a little bit of pressure there.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of it comes down to just confidence. Are you sure this is the right call? Not too many people are going to complain about a replay because at least you weren't penalized for it. But I would love to see every school have a certified ref before the match or before the event. And ideally, at the same time that the coaches meeting happens on the first day, there's a players meeting that reinforces the rules.
Right.
Make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, you see a lot of rules that just kind of missed out on.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if people are like talking to me too much, I would just tell them to leave. I on doctor team. I think you're allowed to.
Looks like our referee is going to call a replay on that one. I was of the opinion the ball was down, but Lane Decky thought she could have gotten there if she'd had another step or two.
Once again, BYU, they put themselves on that right third of the court, and Priest had the whole left side down and open, just unable to convert there.
Thank you.
We'll get a side out here. That ball falls short to the front wall. BYU up to serve. Looks like we'll stick with that lob serve down to the middle. Priest sets herself up well this time. It's really a great job by Priest. She moved over, was ready for it, and had her racket up.
Bunch of good back and forth there, right there in the front court.
Yeah.
Finally, that ball bouncing a little high over Lane Decky's reach.
Yeah, we see much tighter score here. Neither team really pulling away in this third game here, as we'll go 3-2 now. Both teams competing with each other very well this game. A little bit of miscommunication there, like you talked about earlier. You kind of need that lead player to be calling those shots, and mine or yours.
Absolutely. Both players stuck their racket out, but neither one really committed and took that extra step to take that out of the air.
Right. And you always fear the racket collision and breaking a racket. And that's when having that captaining authority would really help make that call. You're not, you know who's going to take it, so you don't have to put your racket down. Although the rally will fall short for BYU, you know, they're still sticking to that kind of middle-ish to the court serve for the most part.
Oh, that's yours.
Great shot there from BYU.
Definitely not what Liberty was expecting as the return there.
No.
Historically, that ball has gone much higher.
Yeah, we see BYU, they really like to keep it up in the air and keep it floating around the room.
At this level, most of your points are going to be scored on your opponent's mistakes, not on your kills. So it's not a bad habit to have. But as they get better, their opponents will also get better, and they're going to have to be more comfortable with taking that low shot and actually getting it both to the front wall and to be a rally ending shot.
Right. As we've seen a couple times here, you know, Priest try to take it off the back wall. She has got it a couple times and missed it a couple times, but it's going to take getting more consistent with that to bring that shot down.
Exactly.
BYU on a little bit of a run here.
Liberty says they recognize that and they'll jump to a timeout. We'll be right back.
My name is Kristen Watts. I am the president of the USA Racquetball Board and a volunteer here at World Singles Doubles. Racquetball means to me family. It is an amazing environment where people come together to play a sport that is great for their bodies, great for their minds. They socialize, and it is a meaningful part of many, many people's worlds.
Racquetball feeds my soul.
I love racquetball. I'm addicted to it. I've been addicted to it for 25 years.
Fun, that's the most important thing, is fun. Just a great group of people to play with.
Of the people, I love the game, everything.
Okay, I think I got it.
Racquetball is life.
Racquetball is life.
Racquetball is life.
And that's not a cliche answer, that's real stuff.
Racquetball is competition and a lot of fun. I love to be able to go on the court and hit by myself, and I love the thinking behind it and the strategy.
Players are making their way back to the court after some last-minute coaching advice.
Yeah.
Got second server on BYU. They're up 6-3, going to 11, win by 1. So that is definitely something that is practicable. The ball bouncing short or a short distance off of the back wall. Easy one to practice
Great
with
shot there
yourself.
by Leyendecker.
Absolutely. It's a pro called Ben Croft. Used to have a video on that. He called it the Ellis drill. Basically, you want to bounce it short off the back wall, move your feet to the back wall, and then move it forward to take your shot. As opposed to standing absolutely still and waiting for the ball and hoping it bounces where you thought it was coming. Reese chases it down.
Nice. 4 serving 7.
Got 4 serving 7 now.
So this one's mine, and then this is her sister. Oh, really? I had bought skills, and she was supposed to. Yeah, so anyway.
Reese will pass it back to the back. From the back wall.
Come with us. So like we're making. I just want you to think like we should like put this switch after the racquetball.
Both teams looking more competitive here in this rally.
That's the only reason. Yeah, she's trying to
Get 4 serving 7 here. We'll replay that one after a tender here at the back wall.
I do think it would be fun.
See what Priest has in store for us here. Backing up, we're going to see a little bit of a different serve from Priest.
From either Mizzou or Liberty.
That one falls short.
I think a good drive serve would have been a good choice. That one, in addition to being short, was way too close to the center. But
follows it up with a excellent lob serve and an excellent return there as well from BYU.
Just a side note for those of you watching at home, if you're the serving team, you don't have to put your racket above your head because you know you're not serving.
Interesting choice to go to the back wall there. That one will fall short. Seven, 5. BYU here is in the lead. Looks like that timeout may have worked a little bit there for LU. Got a quick 2 points out of the timeout. And
Oh, they got a little bit come back.
BYU with time to set up.
Landecker able to get a good shot there.
Puts it away, coming back to the service box.
5 serving 7. Yeah. 5 serving 7.
5 serving 7 here. See what Priest does. A little bit of a harder serve than we're used to seeing from her.
A little bit of a reach by BYU instead of moving their feet forward. So the ball came up short. Great preparation by Landecki. How she had her racket up shoulder height, ready to swing before she moved her feet.
Yeah, and we'll get a timeout by BYU here. They see LU starting to come back a little bit. We'll see you right after the break.
My name's John Ellis from Stockton, California. Racquetball to me has been my lifetime sport. My dad was obsessed with this in 1975 when I was 3, so I had no choice but to play racquetball, and of course I've loved it ever since. You know, that includes not only playing, but the tournament directing part of it, and a lot of friends that I've met over the years. I'm in the Hall of Fame for racquetball, which means I won enough pro stops to qualify, so yeah, take that. Racquetball is competition and a lot of fun. I love to be able to go on the court and hit by myself, and I love the thinking behind it and the strategy.
7-7, Liberty second serve.
Tied up at 7 apiece here in the tiebreaker.
Right next to it. Someone must have took it. I just, yeah.
Little ironic there. Tied up in the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Great serve and a great return there as well.
Definitely a server that I wanted to see her take. You know, it's been a while since there had been pressure put on during that serve.
If you have an 11:40 match, please come check in. 11:40 matches, please come check in.
Great shot there by Leyendecker.
7 serving 7.
And LU will go back up to serve, still tied at 7. Still sticking with that lob serve. That one will drop perfectly right at the back wall.
Another reach instead of a shuffle. You know, at the higher levels of the game, you know, it's less and less about your arm and your wrist skills, and more and more about moving your feet.
Yeah, your placement.
Mm-hmm. You can practice a forehand, practice a backhand, and if you can move your feet enough to hit the ball where it's in your comfort zone, you'll hit a great shot.
Get 10 serving 7 here, potential game point for LU.
Timeout did exactly what they needed.
And BYU will go back up to serve now.
7 serving 10.
Looks like we might be seeing a little bit of a faster serve here. Yep, it'll be back to the lob. Saw her dribbling it up there a little bit. Thought we might be getting ready to see a drive serve there.
Replay called.
7 serving 10.
Amelia Bennett, Ellie Noble, Bryce Metz, Terminus.
Great shot there by Landecker from LU.
7 serving 10.
Second server looking for some support from the crowd before she serves. Good lob, got a weak defensive return.
And that one will fly right by her. You know, once again, you got that clear sidewall over there. If you're not used to it at BYU, I know LU players aren't as well. And you got those people over there kind of staring at you, can kind of put a lot of pressure on you.
Especially when they're operating a camera 2 feet away from where you are. So
that definitely brings on the nerves for sure if you're not used to it.
Mm-hmm. Third match point opportunity here for LU. And that's our match.
Yeah, what a great serve there by Priest. In the end, her lob serve will end the day.
Thank you all very much for joining us. Our next match will be up in about 15 minutes. Come back and join us then.